Okay, buen día clase. This is our video guide through the activities for Capítulo 5. Wanted to prepare this one because some of the activities in Chapter 5 and Capítulo 5 will actually be pushing to later módulos, and I'll indicate those as we come to them. So please make note of that and follow things that are in the modules and on the calendar for the course, okay? So the structure of this chapter is the same as others. Just make sure and do the en casa and en clase activities, remembering that when it's asking you to do activities with un amigo, una amiga de la clase, that you, if it calls for a dialogue, then you make sure and put both the pregunta and the respuesta, right? So on actividad 5.4, you'll be asking questions like, ¿Te gustan los deportes? And then you'll write the answer either yes or no. In this case, sí me gustan or no me gustan. Okay, so ¿te gustan las películas de horror? Sí me gustan or no me gustan. So just remember to write both la pregunta y la respuesta. Okay. Again, just a reminder to make note of the embedded videos on the different grammar parts for this chapter. There are a couple of them here, and those can always help you figure out what's going on with the the grammar subject for the chapter or for the section. So for Actividad 5.8, it has 3 parts. So for the first part, you're just going to write down your likes and dislikes. So novelas, novels you like to read. A mí me gusta leer novelas de, and then the autor. So that's part 1. You're talking about what you like. On parte 2, you're going to ask a question to your amigo or amiga. So again, you'll just you could turn the same response that you had into a question. ¿A ti te gusta leer novelas de? And then whoever the author is by. So it's just a repeat, okay, of what we saw in parte 1, only you're asking a question. So do you like this? Do you like that? Etc. And then in parte 3, it's really just to combine the two, so you don't need to submit anything for parte 3. It's just a combination of parte 1 and parte 2, okay? You're just writing or commenting on whether you like them or not. ¿Está bien? So you're answering the same questions you asked in parte 2. ¿Está bien? Okay. In Actividad 5.9, we've got the columns again. So we just need to make sure and have one part from each of the columns in the response. Okay, here with the Diario 4, mi pasatiempo favorito, mi actividad favorita. This is one of the activities that I mentioned at the start of this video that we're going to be pushing to a later module. So in this case, Diario 4 is going to be part of 2 separate modules. We're going to submit the primera versión as part of module 6, okay? And I will give you my feedback, and then we will use it in module 8 as well. As you can see here, it's going to act as what we call a guion or a script for your 3rd oral presentation. So the diario, the first version, again, will be due in module 6, and then the final version won't be due until module 8 when we actually do the presentación oral 3. Okay, so don't worry about doing it now as part of Capítulo 5. Okay, here on actividad 5.12, ¿qué estamos haciendo? Talking about what we are doing. Right now, this one asks us to get in groups and describe what, and then we kind of play charades and someone acts out something and you write what they are doing. Just pretend that there are 4 or 5 different people, or you just come up with 4 or 5 different activities that you're doing. So like this says, the modelo Michaela pretends she is writing, and then the group says Michaela está escribiendo. So someone else could pretend like they are speaking. So Miguel está hablando. Someone else could pretend that they are sleeping. So podemos decir Lacey está durmiendo. Okay, so just come up with 5 different things that others might be doing. Just another reminder, I know I did it earlier in this capítulo as well, but another embedded video to make sure we watch too. This one's on the preterite past tense in Español. Okay, just real quickly, en actividad 5.16, this one's asking for a question and an answer. So make sure and write la pregunta y la respuesta for each of these cases. Okay, same for actividad 5.17. Okay, now for 5.19, it has 2 parts. Part 1, you're just going to write sentences. Make sure and include 1 element from each of the 4 columns, the subject, a verb, partial phrases, and since now we're talking about past tense, we're going to use one of the momentos en el pasado, anoche, ayer, esta mañana, etc. Okay, but now where it asks us to do parte 2 en clase, you're just asking, like, what did Colin do last weekend? And then if you have written about Colin, you'll just say Colin fue al cine. So what you will do is take the responses that you wrote in 5.19 and just put a question with them and then use them for the answer. So aquí you'll have pregunta and respuesta, again from what you wrote in the previous activity. So we're making the answer before the question, if that makes sense. Okay? Okay, so here's our other deviation. So la presentación oral 3, please don't worry about doing it now during Capítulo 5. That will be pushed into Module 8, Módulo 8. Again, this will be presenting what you wrote about in Diario 4. Diario 4 serves as your script. Okay, and this presentación oral is essentially what we will consider our final exam, with air quotes, right? Because it will have the same structure as our other presentaciones orales, where you will present something and then ask questions and answer questions. But again, this will not be done until Módulo 8. Okay, our final activity. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Okay, one of our final activities in the course is actividad 5.21, and this is one that we will also push back to Module 7, Módulo 7. So you can go ahead and complete it now. It's a complete review of the whole course so far with questions and answers that we should be able to do. Okay, so again, the final submission for this won't be until Módulo 7, right? Let's check out what remains here real quick. We'll have our MLS, our knowledge checkpoint. And then we have a few other suggestions for entries in our portfolio, 3C's portfolio. Again, this is these are possibilities that you can use to build your portfolio in modules 6 and 7. Okay? All right, well, that takes us to the end of the chapter work. So let me know if you have any questions. Avísenme si hay preguntas. Adiós.